Yeah. So I just realized that I just spent about half an hour recording without recording my microphone. So, um, great. Very cool. All right, hey guys. That was fun. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm feeling really good about that. Oh man, I need a second to so I can collect my shit. Oh no, I'm off to a great start. All right, hey guys, what's up? So, little disclaimer really fast. Everything that is shown in this video is purely for educational purposes only. Um, Tampering and otherwise screwing with uh, software or game clients or getting your hands on retail files and modifying them to make private servers is obviously illegal. And I don't suggest anyone go about infringing on copyrights. But I do think that there is an immense value to the educational side of things, and that is what I'm going to explore a little bit with you guys today. A little bit of background. Um, I Let's see. I started playing a lot of video games way back in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003. Really got into online RPGs. I played a little bit, 2002, 2003, but really got into it mostly in 2000, around 2005, 2006. Mostly with RuneScape. Um, Started in Classic tiny bit, but mostly played in RuneScape 2. What is now kind of what old school RuneScape attempts to somewhat emulate, but yeah, my last video about my UIM stuff, which ended the UIM series, kind of got into a little bit of why I made my exit. But over the years, I've played a lot of online RPGs, most notably RuneScape, both 2 and 3, and old school. And Perfect World was basically another game I played. A game called Legend of Ares for a short period of time. The games I really get good in, though, were RuneScape, Perfect World, and lastly, a game called Granado Espada. And Granado Espada actually is where I really I played it through my teen years into my early 20s and through my mid 20s. Even still play it to this day, though on my own server, as it were, basically in single player. But as for my interest in computers and software development, that kind of came about through necessity of I started to get interested in private servers for RuneScape back in probably 2007, maybe I would say 2006, 2007, and I got started doing development side of things, learning Java, because all the RuneScape servers were emulators that all ran in Java, um, or well, all were developed with Java, I should say. Um, Then I eventually did get into Perfect World private servers, um, and in 2012, a private server for Granada Espada opened called Aria GE. It was closed, or it was a excuse me, it was an open beta, and that transitioned basically into what was known as Rogue GE, and then Renaissance GE through a name change. Um, and in the last 5 years of that or so, I think, I served as a content developer for the private server. Um, and that was a great experience for me. Um, and ultimately the game eventually shut down. The owner of the server was just getting out of the business of private servers. He sent. I guess he sensed that his time, the time to leave, to exit the community of private server development. I think, he left his mark and he was ready to get out of it. But anyways, so in that time, towards the end, we talked about it, and he agreed to release the files publicly for running the game server, as well as the tools that he wrote. And those, I'm not going to post any links to where you can get them, but a simple Google search of Granado Spada retail files will probably land you somewhere in the general vicinity of where you can get those files. So if you're so interested. But this is not about that. This is mostly about just developing and game development, kind of in a more broad sense, actually, but with hands-on application. And so one of the projects that I have been working on over the years has been to completely overhaul and rebalance the game. The retail version of the game has struggled with a I would call it a lack of a clear vision for where they want the game to go and what their idea of balance is. And to their credit, they're still doing great things with the art and the effects and things like that, but in terms of balance and making the game not just buff this, nerf that, cash grab, milk whatever money we can still get out of the player base. Yeah, that's basically all they've done, in my opinion. I've looked at the retail market; it's dead. The player base, I mean, they still have a loyal fan base, and it's astonishing what you can do. What kind of bullshit a game company can do to their basically inflict upon their player base, and the player base will still be there because the game's damn good, and it's a damn shame. But we can get into the ethics and the what my thoughts are on all of that. I'm just some other time. Right now, that's kind of outside the scope of what I'm gonna demonstrate here. I'm gonna have to definitely put chapters on this video. This is gonna be a long video. So if you guys are interested, strap yourselves in, and we'll go ahead and hop right into the balancing process. So one of the projects that I was working on over the last year or so has been balancing the game characters and the gear, and trying to make it more kind of so that all the characters in the game can actually have a functional level of usefulness. And so all this is done through the unpacked and decrypted IES files that are basically just XML. And we have that because I spent 45 minutes recording a video that I didn't have my microphone recording. Everything's already open, so that's very convenient. So let's go ahead and switch over to Notepad. And so what we're looking at here is, let me go ahead and start with this. This is the file that handles all the information regarding every single character in the game. So it's just a shitload of XML. And everything that you can, every attribute that you can assigned to a character basically is defined here. And I'm not going to go into a ton of the detail because I feel like it's just going to, I mean, I could spend 20 minutes just explaining what's going on in this, in one line of XML. So rather than doing that, I'm just going to focus on actually hands-on development now, the application of doing balancing. If this is something that's actually interesting to you guys, I could go through and actually explain some of this stuff, but in more detail. But I think for the scope of what I'm after today, let's just go ahead and simplify this down to there's a file that defines jobs or the characters themselves. There's a file that defines the stances that they have access to. That they basically a stance is their combat style, basically. So if you're imagining a character that has a sword, that sword might use a stance called back guard or high guard or ekete or um, I don't know, whatever. I mean, some type of technique with the weapon of choice. And then, of course, the stance itself is going to have skills that you can use in the stance. Sometimes there'll be buffs, as the case with this. Here's a buff. Here's a heal. This is another buff. I think this is going to be mostly buffs because I kind of organized this, but this is a monster skill, but yeah. Anyways, the point being is you have stances. Those stances then have skills. Actually, let me back up. You have characters. Those characters have access to stances. Those stances have access to skills. And I guess if you want to be really technical with it, you have stance conditions, which define, which take basically what the character is equipping, and it matches that up to what stances should be available. And then by proxy, the stance determines what skills should be available. So you can see here that this character named Panfilo has these stance conditions assigned by default. This is what the retail version, version 28 at least, this is what the retail version has. Now, if we go into back to Explorer here, you guys will see that there is a USA folder here. This is basically what was used for localization. In my work on RGE, we use this as where we put our custom changes. When we would do data merges, we would merge into the new data into the main data file, and then our custom changes would still be preserved because they would all be handled here. And that is a tradition, I guess you could say, that I've continued in my own development. So that means that we have a second set of data here, and you can see that this is a little bit less information to look at. It's a little less huge bombardment of information. So we can see here class ID 17, class ID 17. So now we're everything here, every value here that gets assigned is overriding the values that are assigned in the main file. So it works out pretty well. But you can see here that I had to add a few more stance conditions, and the way that this works, at least in practice, initially in the development of the game by IMC, at least from what it seems to me, they used the class ID and then 00 was the default stance with no equipment, so that would be bare knuckle, and then where you just have no weapons equipped. And then you would have your stances as you equip different gears, stance conditions basically, and then the stance condition determines what stances are available. So I had to add a few because there was a standardization thing that I was working on. This character gets access to a weapon type called an elemental bracelet, or actually, in the retail game, it was just a fire bracelet. And there are 3 different elements that you have bracelets for, and then you have a bracelet type, a 4th type that stances that use it on their own are generally psychic damage, but it could be used in lieu of a fire bracelet or an ice bracelet or a lightning bracelet, in some cases. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it because it was one of the reasons that a lot of people did not invest heavily into magic characters was just the amount of freaking gear. Most of the high end damage dealers needed two bracelets. So like for example, two fire bracelets, and there's basically if you wanted to deal the best damage, you had to have 5 sets of two bracelets per character, and a lot of DDers like myself included, we used 3 of the same damn characters. And so in that case, you're talking to, the need for 30 fucking weapons per team that you're using. So if you want to have the ability to have a high fire damage teams, so you might use 3 blue flame Ludens, as my best friend did. Well, he had to make 30 damn weapons for that team, and I was like, holy shit, man, like, that was expensive. Like, really, really expensive. Like, you're talking years that it took him to make all of his gear. But if he wanted to transition that damage, like let's say something new came out and he wanted to use ice, for example, right? Well, he's SOL. He can't use those fire bracelets to do ice damage. So he would have to make another 30 weapons, of ice bracelets. And while I wanted to preserve the kind of the dedication factor, I guess you could say, you're committing to to really investing in that team, right? That's great, but I also wanted to make it so that there was a little bit of standardization, and that precedent was already set with some of the lower level stances that you could use an elemental bracelet in lieu of a fire bracelet, for example. And so all of that is to basically say that I allowed Panfilo here, the stances where he used a fire bracelet, I allowed him to also use an elemental bracelet. Just again for that standardization. And we can see that I actually did this for the elementalist as well, which is here. No, not there. Here. So you can see there's a lot of stance conditions for the elementalist, and that's just because there's actually 2 types of elemental bracelet. There's a bone bracelet, which is the skullic bracer, and then there's the elemental bracelet, the Lord of Elements bracelet. And IMC they committed to this for a while, and then they got rid of the bone bracelets. They stopped developing them, and they never removed them from the game. So I could actually theoretically make some kind of the custom stuff with this. Maybe like some type of like necromantic themed thing, but the problem with that is I'm not a 3D artist. I don't have a working version of Emotion FX, and to handle the animations and the effects. So unless those things ever get leaked, that I think will just be a little pipe dream. But hint hint, if anybody from IMC ever watches this video, you guys really should do something with these, or remove them from the game, but I think you should do something with them. I think it would be pretty damn cool. I also just realized that oh no, I did. Okay, yeah, elemental bracelet. Yeah, so this is basically Elementalist got a lot of stance conditions because it needed to handle 5 different types of weapons and the combinations of all 5 weapons. So but anyways, that's again outside, kind of a little bit outside the scope of what I'm showing here. So anyways, back to Panfilo. And of course I've made this a little bit more readable by humans. Separated these out and standardized things a bit. This is actually already kind of done, being that I spent the time to do this already and didn't record my microphone. So, so what I didn't end up doing, because this is about where I realized that, oh shit, I'm not recording my mic. So I'm going to fire up the server, and yeah, I'm gonna fire up the test server here, and I'm not actually gonna run the whole server because there's no need. I'm just gonna test it in a let's see, it should be instance number 9. Yeah, one thing I've been meaning to do at some point is change the kind of sort and organize the zone server daemons, but again is kind of outside the scope of this video. Let me go ahead here and open up the game client. God, this video is already 20 minutes long. I haven't even done anything. Bloody hell. So let's see if we get this to load sometime this century. There we go. Okay. And I think this should be right. And shit. Something's hang on a second. I probably don't have the server configured right. 1 second. I gotta go and server list. Yeah, that's definitely incorrect. You know, I'll bet you that this is not even configured with the right ports. But we'll find out, I guess. I haven't actually worked with the test server in a really long time. But let's see here. Hey, looks like it was configured correctly. Awesome. So this going back to actually, well, no, it was something I was explaining in the other video that I ended up realizing that I wasn't recording any of the microphone. But if I go back to the XML here, one thing I was talking about was the creation card for the character, and these are the item ID values for that. And basically, how this worked was basically you do the quest for whatever character that you're trying to recruit, and you know, you'll help them. You know, you're basically starting out the game as a pioneering family in the new continent, and as you progress through the game, you encounter different characters, and they will ask you to do things, and you'll help them out, and then eventually they'll offer to join your family, and they'll give you a character card. And it was actually a really cool concept because you could trade these cards with other players. And so, you know, you could recruit the character yourself, or you could trade the card off to somebody else, and they could make that character. So, kind of a cool concept. But what this basically does is it does an inventory check here, basically in the database, to see if you possess either of these IDs in your inventory, and when you go to create a character, that character will appear here, which the stock characters end right here at the elementalist, and beyond that you can see I have all these character cards in my inventory, which, okay, whatever. But let's go ahead, because I already have Panfilo. Let's find him. So this is Panfilo here. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm not a GM on that account, so let me go ahead and use this account instead. My IP address changed. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta go into the freaking database now. Man, this is turning into a real fun adventure. Just a second. if I can do this in a way that I will not be sharing too much of my private networking stuff or network structure, I will actually, yeah, because it's just a local host connection. Let me open up yeah, window capture. Here it is. And SSMS. Oh yeah, that's right. The freaking yeah. Apparently it's 2:20 p.m. and so I just got the nationwide emergency broadcast test. Okay, so bloody hell. Okay, let's make this smaller. Whee. And I'm gonna need to make this narrower. More. And there we go. Okay. So, now what I basically have to do here is, I don't need the logs. I need G data, and then, actually some of this stuff I'm not going to want to show, so I'm probably going to have to, you're going to go to a black screen for a second here, because I don't know what is going to show IP addresses and internal networking stuff, so just give me 1 second here. Edit this. And let's see. Level permission IP, this is the thing. I can remove that value, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. That's really bizarre, actually. This should be allowing me to connect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead here and I can show you guys what we're doing here. So we're gonna use what is it, resource. And then insert into I like caps for this. Insert into DBO dot level permission IP. Hang on a second, I gotta make the sensor here because I don't really want some of these IP addresses shown. Okay, it's permission IP and desk. Insert into where I'm doing this wrong. What is my freaking? I haven't used SQL in a while. And I'm not really. This is stuff, by the way, that I did not handle for a very long time. Until I had my own server, basically. And I had to learn this stuff. And I'm still not an expert at it. Insert into. Oh my God, I need to quickly reference SQL command. insert into, oh yeah, okay, so it's just desk and or no, permission IP desk where, or no, not where, values right, I'm gonna have to, well, this will be my IP, and then okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and replace this my IP value with my actual internal structure, and we're gonna go ahead and censor that because I don't really want that shown. And go. What is the? Oh, right. These need to be quotes. There we go. Okay. Now that should be in that, and if I go ahead and select wildcard from VBO dot level permission IP. And okay, my IP address is in there now. That should be all that I needed, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and just kind of had the thought maybe it would be wise for me to also put my WAN IP in, because I'm thinking maybe it's trying to connect via WAN. Shouldn't be, but just to make sure, we'll throw that in as well. And there we go. All right, cool. So now it's got both of those values, and so that should be good now. So now I'm going to get out of SSMS, and let's go ahead here and try to connect now. That's better. Okay. So now we are on the test, basically my GM account that I use for testing. And we want Panfilo here, so there's Panfilo and test zone. Up to 32 minutes already. Oh boy, this is exciting. Oh, that's not good. So, the reason that this is not connecting now, I'm gonna wait for it to, yeah. I have to go back into SSMS. I was right. My test server is not actually configured correctly. It connects to the barrack server, but then when it tries to connect to the global server, and that is pointing it to an incorrect IP address. Because the IP table is all fucked up. So that's awesome. I'm gonna just really quickly have to fix that. And unfortunately I can't show this on camera because the obvious internal networking structure that I don't want exposed to the world. But I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I do it, if I can do so in a sensible way. Yes, I know that there's a fucking update. Stop warning me every time. So we want to go into the DBO machine under resource. edit the top 200 lines. And this should, yeah, that's not the right IP address anymore because my IP address changed fairly recently, actually. So we're gonna shift that to the new IP address. I think I actually need to do this for my actual production server too. Never did get around to that because I haven't really had it online. And then I want the daemons as well, just to make sure that these are correct. Okay, the ports are still good, and the startup commands are all correct, so good. Okay, so now I should be able to, I might have to restart this. I don't remember if I have to restart the server for this or not, but I guess we'll find out. It is like updated in the IP table, so it should work on the fly, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's okay, I can easily enough stop the server and restart it. Sorry if the video is a little disorganized, guys. Like I said, this is kind of like all off the cuff, and I'm actually having to troubleshoot things because, like in real time. So you guys are, in a sense, getting a more complete understanding of everything that goes into server administration for this game, as well as the development side of things. So I guess there's that, but yeah, this is what it's like to be a game developer, guys. Running your own server and having to manage the hardware and the software and the development and everything. It's a lot of work, but it's honestly a really rewarding experience. I've really enjoyed my time as a developer. But you should be online, dude. What the fuck? Hello? No, what's the problem? It's always something, guys. 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and reload the client. I'm gonna fix the IP address in the client. Server list. I'm gonna replace that stuff. Close that. And reload the client. Conflict ng data dbo commander. That's interesting. Huh. Weird. There's some issue in the database that I'm gonna have to look into later. It's only the test server, so I don't really care too much as if this is not an issue on the main server. There we go. Okay, now we're good. And now we should. Well, it's. Yeah, okay, we're good. It's just still loading the it's weird that it's still loading the freaking test server. Can you load please? Like sometime this century? There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Loading the colony war data. Yep, okay. So sometime this century it should load. Come on. Ah, the joys of waiting for this to load. Yep, okay, come on. Alright, I think now we're finally in business. Yep, okay. Alright, so that was a fun, what, 8 minutes of unfucking whatever was broken here. Alright, so this is Panfillo. Looks like I was working on this before as well. We can see here that he can use the special bracelet. Don't prove me wrong, game. Is there a reason why this is like feeling really buggy? That's interesting. Interesting. It's really interesting that it's not allowing me to equip this. I'm wondering if there's a data mismatch between my client and the server. Yeah, you know what it probably is. Because I'm a monkey here and I was focusing so much on getting this to, to work right. Alright. Yeah, I never actually updated the server files. Yeah, that would help, I think. So what we'll do is we'll go back to Explorer here really fast and stance, job, stance condition, skill. This is in the override. And we'll go back here, we'll go to the server and paste these files. And now the server should have the same data as the client. And I'm running this in dev mode, so I don't have to compile. I don't have to build these files into IES files. They should work as is and override whatever values are in the IES files. And then the client, on the other hand, is actually going to need me to build those. So back out to here and go here, and I need to build these files basically really fast. And that's done now. Take this newly, you can see the timestamp is correct. And take this to this folder and replace the file there. And now we load up the client again. Now we log back in. And now we're in the same thing where we're waiting for the damn server to start up. But basically what we want to see is the ability to switch this bracelet, that's a fire bracelet, out to an elemental bracelet. And then I noticed that I did not actually give him access to a couple stances that I want him to have access to, so actually, that's bizarre. Yeah, check this out. He should have access to Possession Fire, and I think even, yeah, Evocation and Domination. So it's possible that this just didn't get updated on the server or the client because I never copied the files over. I'm not sure actually what state the server was in, because I picked these picked up development after not touching development for a very long time. And I know that this was the last character I was working on, so it's possible that I was like halfway done with this and then just never got around to adding the files to the test server. So it's been literally months since I touched development for this game, and that is becoming very clear to me because yeah, I feel lost in the files a little bit, and it's fun. But... Alright, so we should now be able to equip the special bracelet. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. And we should also be able to equip this in one hand and this. That is not working right. Okay. I see. I see the problem. I think. Yes, I see the problem. Okay, let me go ahead back to, oh, well, I wasn't freaking showing... Okay, hang on. So we can see here that, I can, in fact, equip the special bracelet, which is the Lord of Element bracelet, as well as the fire bracelet. And the problem was that I noticed I can't equip these interchangeably. I should be able to equip one of these into the offhand. And we're seeing that that's not a thing. So that's a problem. And that we can see here is because I did not allow mixing and matching of the two bracelets. So we actually need to make two more stance conditions. 13 and 14. 13, 14. And what we just need to do is put fire bracelet and put fire bracelet. So that'll allow right hand fire bracelet, left hand elemental bracelet, and it'll allow right hand elemental bracelet and left hand fire bracelet. And that will do what we want. And now we just need to add these stance conditions. So 17, 13, 17, 14. And save that. And now I need to close the game again. Go back to Explore here, and we're going to go ahead and build this again. And I really should have a full screen of, like, so you guys can actually see my whole screen, but so you can actually see like the building window basically, but it's all right. So now I need to move this file back to here, place, and we need to go and I need just these two files, and we need to put those into the server. And just like that, now those should be the most recent files. Yep. Okay. And now I have to... I think I can actually share this. Yeah, I can share this. 1 second, let me set up a new scene really fast. And add window capture, manager client window, and there we go. Now you guys can kind of see what's going on here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stop these instances and start them back up. Okay, and then might as well start loading the client already. Expand this a bit so you guys can actually see what the what's going on with it as it loads. So now I just, basically this is just a waiting game. Now it's loading the game data basically into memory essentially. It basically just goes through this process basically where it checks all the data and then starts building the world. That's now interfacing with the database, I do believe. Now it's loading the game world and getting everything kind of set up. And it's basically each of these, we can see here actually what maps are actually controlled by this daemon. So every zone here is handled by instance 5, which is this one right here. At some point, I'd actually like to completely redo this, add more daemons, and organize them better. But for now, this is kind of just what we had in RGE, and I haven't really changed anything with it since. But now we should be able to log into the, well, we've been able to log into the barracks. That's been online this whole time. That does not take long to start, but that's not what I want. Sometime this year, please. I don't know why it keeps hanging. Here, I'll show you guys. It keeps hanging on this colony war bit. It's kind of bizarre, but looks like we're back in business now. So let's go ahead and hear it in game, and let's see what happens when I try to now equip the bracelets. So we can see here that we do actually have these stances now. These weren't here before, as you may recall. There was only Bloody Feast at the end. More importantly, we didn't have these, but now we should be able to mix and match. Cool. So that is with a special bracelet in the right hand and a fire bracelet in the left hand. We should be able to reverse that, and we can. We can access all these stances. Awesome. So this now works as intended. This is good. I can't think of anything else that he needs other than now we just have to damage test and make sure that these there's nothing completely broken. Which wait a second. Oh yeah, Diablo here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this stance I don't think I did anything with, so I'm gonna have to play with this. So let's go ahead here, and I just want to test this with use Harmonia to test. Actually, let's start with Santo de Blanc. There. And you guys can see here there's a very different stats to retail, if those of you that actually have played retail, or even RGE. None of this stuff was on RGE because there would have been no way for me to convince Bit to use to make such drastic changes to the game. So perfect. Santo, and then Harmonia. Let's use Saber. 50% attack. Let's see, make it 50 and 100. I'm not going to add any extra stats. Use humans for the sake of testing with percent attacks. I also need a bloody Feast stance book. You know, I probably should allow Bloody Feast to be used by Panfilo with two swords as well. Might not be a bad idea. I don't think that would be too just messed up in the game. I think I'd also add that to Fighter as well. It would stand to. Actually, that's curious. Could he? No, he couldn't use. Let me look here at the animations for ammonia. Let me finish making the items that we use for testing, and then I want to see would this be particularly distracting or not matching the game's overall vibe. This is the cool thing about game development, guys, especially in private servers where you're, you know, taking existing content that exists, you know, in the retail game and repurposing it or tailoring it to your development ideas, or, you know, it's an idea that you got. Like, for example, I'm talking about right now making it so that a double sword stance called hack and slash. I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could also use a double saber stance with swords, and likewise be able to use this hack and slash stance with sabers? I don't see why not, but we need to make sure that basically it the animations work out. So also this is not the right attribute page. Of course. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remake my attribute really fast. It's okay, it's just a second I have to spend on this. I do balance in like with the idea of like what a max level player is gonna have. I know roughly how damage scales in this game, so I don't remember what my attribute was for oh, that's a typo in the UI. I gotta fix that some other time though. I'll just leave it as is. Okay. Leak side. Of course. No, that's not leak side. Why is this? Oh my god. Okay, what daemon really does it belong to? But of course, it's daemon 10, not 9. Okay. So I'll start up daemon 10. In the short term, I can use the... I thought there was NPCs there. I'm actually... Oh yeah, there are. They just... For some reason, the load distance on this is really small. For some reason. Come here, Thor Economy. And we need to max this stance out. So I don't really care about the damage of this stance. What I'm interested in seeing is what the animations look like. So that would work fine with sabers. That would work fine with sabers. A stab with a saber, I'm not... I mean, it could work. I don't see why not. Violent Shooting Star here, I think, is going to be the thing that... It's going to look funky with sabers, but... I mean, realistically, it shouldn't be that awful. I mean, you could stab with a saber. It's not... It's meant as a slashing weapon, but... I mean, why not? Now the question becomes, what do the animations in Bloody Feast look like? I vaguely remember what they look like, but I just want to make sure that I'm not doing anything crazy. Okay. Also, you guys can see the clear difference in damage because that is a expert stance versus a pre-vet stance. Basically a level 110 stance versus a stance that you unlock at, well, traditionally you would unlock at like level 36, I think. But we only really care about the animations, and that Bloody Horizon would work fine with swords. Crimson Crescent, if I recall, yeah, there's no reason why that would not work. Phantastorm I know would work. I don't need to test that on a target, so I'll test that animation in a second, but that would honestly, that animation I think would work fine with swords as well. This is Phantastorm. Yeah, I don't see why not. I'll allow swords to be used. And the reason that this becomes really relevant on my server specifically, or in my on this version of the game, as it were, is because I made it so that different weapons have different inherent effects, and we can see here the sabers get a lot more crit, but don't get as much block. But they get higher evasion and faster attack speed, but they get less defense, basically. So it's basically you're trading a bit of defense, but getting more damage, basically, is the bottom line. And what this translates to in this setting is that we'd also like to be able to kind of like have choices in the equipment that we use. And I think that more choices in equipment creates greater diversity in the game, and I'm a big fan of that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to Notepad, and we're going to make a couple more stance conditions. And the thing is that we're going to have to do this change more than just a couple times. Fuck me. Oh, see, I already made this be a thing for Yagina. I don't know why I didn't do this for... I don't remember doing this for the fighter, though. I'm gonna need to do this for Claude, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this for Claude. And... oh, right, fighter doesn't get fucking... I'm stupid, okay. So yeah. I need to actually test one other thing here. I need to see what Twin Blades has in terms of what that looks like. So, Claude. This is turning into a long video. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, you guys know what you signed up for when you watch a video of mine. Yeah, see, he gets Bloody Feast, but he also gets Hack and Slash. I'm just going to make it so that he can use it. You know what I could do, even? I could make it so that you could interchange these as well. Like, have one sword and one saber. I mean, why not, right? So, and you can see I can't do that, obviously, with the current thing, but we can demonstrate that in a moment. Let's MCC1, please. And, yeah, so what I want to do is I want to see what this stance looks like. Dust Devil should, yeah, I'll be fine with. I think that this skill actually, Hexen Dropper, I think, yeah, there's no reason that that could not be used with the sword. And, Yeah, that could be used with the sword. So, let me just look at the animation of the basic attack. Yeah, why not? Oops. Oh yeah, well it's a shared skill even, so Dust Devil is as well. Yeah, there's no reason why you should not be able to use a saber for this stance. Okay, so what this translates to for us is where is having a freaking seriously itchy nose because of allergies. I love it. So we're gonna take 813 and make this sword and saber, and duplicate this one more time, and 814, 814, and there we go. Okay, so now we have to make this actually make sense. So we need to go sword, sword. Can this please, like, fuck off, please? Thanks. Okay, I need sword and sword, hack and slash. Okay. So we want that in here. So we're gonna go ahead and just put these down here for a moment. Go, and then what else do we have? We have Bloody Feast and Twin Blades. So this is Twin Blades, and lastly we have Bloody Feast. And we don't have a double sword expert stance to deal with, so we don't need to worry about that. So what we're going to do is allow basically these three stances to be used for all stance conditions that are double sword, double saber, and sword plus saber or saber plus sword. So what that means is I'm going to do that for one of these, and I'll just do it for the bottom one because that is the simplest option. Stance 2, and stance 3, stance 3. Now we'll get rid of that so that I don't have that sitting around, and I don't need to do that. I need to go to stance 1 from the bottom, and just paste this a couple times. Sword and sword, and saber, saber. Okay. And just like that, we have Claude fixed. Just need to add these two stance conditions to his thing. So Claude, what idea is this? 8. Yep. Well, okay, so 13, 14, and 3, 8, and 4. So that's Claude done. And then we need to do this also now for Panfilo. And I'm going to allow Panfilo to use Twin Blades. So, okay. I'm just going to paste this here for a moment. Saber, saber. And sword, sword. There we go. And then we need to add one more stance condition. Copy sword, sword. 2 stance conditions. 1, 5, 6. Also, did I goof back here? 8. No, I got these. Sometimes I'll forget to match these up. That creates problems. Okay, so now what we want is saber and saber. Okay, so that's that. We don't need that anymore. And we need to go back here and add 15 and 16. And lastly, we want to add, let's put it in a sensible place here. Twin blades. So now he'll default get that stance, and it'll unlock it on all existing characters that are created. Okay. So now that should be good. Let's go ahead and stop all these instances. I need to go back to Explorer here, and I need to go in here and make patch. Waiting for that, we'll go ahead and copy these files to the server. And then I need to close my client. Oh my god, my freaking allergies are so bad today. My nose is unbelievably itchy right now. Okay, so now we'll load up the don't need statement number 9. As it turns out, we need number 10. So I'm gonna load these instances back up. And the only stance I really need to do any damage testing on is going to be Diablo. Which I didn't actually finish making the weapons. I feel really smart now. I made the sword and I never made the bracelets. Oops. Oh well. Too bad. I'll fix that in a moment. Oh, now my eyes are itchy. Oh, man. I would like to cut the video and go and take some freaking allergy meds, but I'll deal with it later. I'm gonna persevere, guys. I'm gonna persevere. Oh, God almighty. And I can't type my password somehow. Oops. Oh my god, man. Sucks eggs. My load. Yeah, by the way, this is a great example of the why private servers of this game are, in my opinion, superior to the retail game. They didn't even have the fucks to give to properly localize the game. This is supposed to be Banshee Natalie, and they got Vanshee Natalie. Among many, many, many localization issues in this game. And this game used to be really a shining star of good localization back in the sort of the New World days. But it just became kind of a cash cow, and I was like, okay. But I don't really want to support that, but thus I got involved in private servers. But like I said, I cannot stress to you guys enough that what you're seeing is purely educational. I never once made a singular penny off of any of my development for this game. So, we can see here actually already that we have in fact gotten these stances available, and that is excellent. So let me go ahead and take these, since we're testing Panfillo, mix and match. Nice. So there is actually one character in the game that already did this. That was Codename L used a sword and a saber, but it was a very specific thing. But I think that actually looks pretty good. Let's obviously make sure that this works in reverse. Perfect. And obviously still works with two sabers. Awesome. All right, so now I need to go back into the item creation wizard and earn fire bracelet or flame bracelet or whatever it is. Yep, there we go. It's +7. And we were doing 5100 for testing. And in this case, I would use the pen. And eight pen, 8 pen, 8 pen. Okay, there we go. And there's that. There's that. Perfect. All right. So now let's go to the lakeside. And this is where we have damage testing dummies. Also, one other thing that I did on my server here was I changed the max values that you can have for this, and also fixed this UI to be bigger. Not going to get into all of that, but just that was something to. If you look at videos of retail, you'll notice that this looks a little bit different than dimensions, and that would be why. So 350. Stats I generally test with. So let's get a quick baseline from a stance that already is balanced. Let's see. Which of these? I think Crimson Crescent was the other one that doesn't get maxed. And well, of course, we're going to test this with raw damage, not with pets or anything. That was not actually what I wanted to use, but okay. Of course, I get DR blocked twice with the same skill. There we go. Okay, so that gives us an idea of the baseline for that. Let me make sure that I actually have Diablo. I don't. Okay, so let me just go ahead here already and let's go to the stance Diablo. Okay, we do have this at least. Is good. Now I need to find the skills. Okay. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. And because these are all sequential, I can just get them straight out of here. Okay. So there's that. And now I'm just going to move this over on my screen a little bit so that maybe I'll move the game client itself over a little bit. Alright, so let's switch back to GE here. And I'm going to balance this with the fire bracelet. Okay. And let me look at these because I'm actually not that familiar with this stance. This was a stance I never really used very much. I'm going to assume that I know that we're going to want this maxed off. Let me look at how these worked. Is that the... Yeah, okay, so it's roasting that wasn't maxed. So I need to pretty much double up the damage on that skill. I can tell you guys that much. Look at that. Oh, that damage is abysmal. Just to... Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is buff the stance itself. So, hop over here in Notepad and make sure for one that, okay, so does splash. It's a 2-meter splash radius. Or, well, it's 1 meter on either side of the target, basically. I already increased the splash limit, so that's good. It's magic, technically, so it should be 1, but maybe I'll put 0.9. And, what is it dealing right now? Oh man, that is so bad. What is the penetration on the stance? Only 10 plus 10. Oh, that's just terrible. That's the first problem here. So let's go ahead and... Oh yeah, I wanted to see something really fast also. Can I use the... I can use the sword for this, right? Yeah, okay. I was making sure that I did get that box checked. so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the amount of penetration this gets. Let me look at what Bloody Feast got. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, where is this? 50 pen. And Bloody Feast gets 50 plus 50. This is a magic stance, so I'm kind of reluctant to give it that much pen, but I think uh, I'm gonna increase the attack to 4. That'll double the attack, roughly. Increase IP. Just make. I think I'll give this. So every level it gets 1 extra pen. So that should yield 75 pen from the stance at level 25. Additionally, I'm gonna give it 25 immunity as well. I don't want this to be quite as tanky as Bloody Feast, which gets 25 plus 25. I'll just give it 25. I want this to be more of a damage dealing stance because it's magic. But I still want it to be fairly, survivable. So, this is a useful stat. I haven't really played too much with this, but because it's mostly for shooting stances that this gets applied. But this was a potential way to get around some of the issues that you have where melee becomes kind of useless. Where magic, like at a certain point, you get beyond like about 400 defense on an enemy. You really can't hit it for shit with physical damage unless you have this stat. And so that is one way to get around that a little bit. But I think I'm going to go ahead and test this as is. And then we'll go ahead and... Oh, right. Does this... Yeah, I need to fix this buff. First and foremost. So... this skill here is a buff, and what I want to do is move that. This is one of the weaknesses of this game. The way that they did descriptions is they made this all like. It'd be nice if this was something that the game could just like determine from some other source, or if this was just set somewhere like as a value of duration. But nope. This is where the time consumption or well, how time consuming this is. This is where that the time really adds up in development. If you want this done right, and not just leave things like half baked, it really does get time consuming. Oh man, my freaking allergies are so bad. I haven't even thought about a title for this video. Well, whatever. We have a peek in game as to what this looks like. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. You know what I'm gonna do? This is gonna sound really dumb, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pump this up to 15. And then I'll balance the skill damage down. That should give it a very high auto attack value, which we want. Um, and, yeah. So let's do. And then you think of a skill that what is this? Yes, requires that. Okay, I've got to fix that too. Oh my god, my nose is killing me, guys. Where's Java skill? Here we go. Find that in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this whole thing for this too. Actually, let me see. Does that exist in okay. Um Luckily this is already a toggle skill, so I don't have to screw with that. Need that value. This is what I want. For standardization, I need to do this for these guys as well. There we go. And then this. And then what's this skill called again? Petite. And then toggle buff. And target desk. Here we go. There we go. All right, now that's correct. And then I want to make sure that this does not actually require. Actually, that's ancient stars, right? Yep. Okay. And then this skill though And I actually did not verify that this one, spend item. Okay. We want to spend no, and we want to spend 0 of the item ID of 0. Okay. So now, that's done on the side of the XML, but I have to do this now. I have to modify this in the script itself. So go back to the Explorer here, and now we need to go into scripts, buffs, and we need to go to the buff itself, and I also want to go to see if I can remember where this is at. Actually, I'm gonna do this even better. I'm just gonna find in files, and then oh, you guys have no clue how itchy my nose is right now. It's driving me insane. All. That was a mistake. Let me narrow this down so it's not searching. Well, so it's only searching the scripts. There we go. Work smarter, not harder, right, guys? Okay, and then this is Lua. Actually, I prefer the JavaScript stuff. Wait, no, I don't. They changed that. Holy God, that's terrible. Okay, nope, I definitely prefer Lua. Okay. What in the bloody hell? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, you can see, guys, I started this in 2022, and it's almost 20, well, it'll be 2024 in 2 months, or 3 months, rather. So, yeah, spent a little bit of time working on this. So, we want to add in battle cook. Oh, man. Oh, bloody hell. And then, I actually need to open another, thing, because I just remembered that that's actually not all that I had to do. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. This is, what we did. We added this line here, and actually forgot a comma. There we go. So that's the script dealt with. You can see here that this is the referenced script, and then it takes this class ID, or the class name rather, and finds it here, and then that makes it a toggle skill. Now we go back to Explorer and XML USA and buff. And I need that also in the original form. Okay, so I need that from here. And then actually there we go. And then So this group index here, it basically, if I was to use this skill and I already had another skill that was in this group index, or a buff already in this group index that was already on my character, this skill would either replace that or not apply. So this basically giving it a unique ID, I know for a fact that this will always apply to the character correctly. So, and stack with whatever other buffs he has, which is what I want. We also would like this to theoretically save. Between map changes. This doesn't always work, but might as well allow it where I can. And trying to think if there's another value I have to, yeah, this. And I'm just gonna add appetite. Give this a 0-second cooldown as well. And where is it? Well, I can, maybe we'll get lucky and it's buff. Of course not. What's the buff called in game? Heat. Okay. Ah, here we go, heating. Oh my god, dude. Man, my nose is killing me. Ah. Okay, this is the buff. Let's put this here. And make sure this gets its own thing. Oh my lord. Ah. Save. Make sure this doesn't exist anywhere else in this file. Ah, good lord. It's unfair, man. So we're also going to, oh my god, I keep fucking not changing the scene. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, let me regain my composure here. All right, so I need to go in here and also add this skill, which that'll cook. It already, I think I already gave it that. Yeah, okay. And this goes to here. And now that'll be a toggle. That's good, okay. And then this is configured correctly, and alright. So that should be good now. Oh man, we're pushing 2 hours already. This is gonna be a long video, isn't it, guys? Alright. You guys know what you sign up for when you watch one of my videos. Alright, that should be good now. Let's see, that's done. Now we just need to get damage right, and then we should be good on this whole thing. So, I'm gonna close the game and stop the server, and we can explore here and build the patch. And then the IES. Oh man, I'm dying. Okay, and then the script file that we need is skills and extra skill. And then lastly, the XML. Okay. Now I run the server, start the game client back up. Ah, man, you guys have no clue how bad my allergies are right now. It's really uncomfortable. Oh my god, come on. Load faster. Make sure I unequip my gear off of Claude. Just waiting for the zone server to load up. It's a lot of playing the waiting game, unfortunately. Oh, and there we go. So now the damage is going to be completely whack. Just a fair warning. Also, we want to see. That should not give a duration. I must miss something with that. I'll figure that out in a moment. EDDR 50 defense. 75 and 100. Damage is good. Let me get a pair of gloves that will give me 100 accuracy. Okay, so that's the max damage that this would deal. Okay. What the fuck? What is the 2K hit? That's really bizarre. I'm not really sure about what that 2K hit. Oh! Well, no. I don't actually know. That's really bizarre. I don't have an explanation for the 116,811 damage. I don't have an explanation of the 2148 hits. Kind of strange. Just out of curiosity, let's it's also very interesting. I would expect that to do less damage, and yet it does more. Huh. Quite peculiar. Oh no, not peculiar at all. Actually, it's the inbuilt damage. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Let's have a look at Notepad again. Not really sure what's up with this. Hmm. That is really strange. Also, I think that this is incorrect. This should be infinity as well. Oh, no, never mind. That's the debuff. Never mind. I'm dumb. Huh. Not really sure why this is little thing there. It should be the skill name. It should work like this. Hmm. Oh, well, I don't really need to have Battle Cook added here as well. That could be... You know, that actually could be part of the problem. Because I had that listed twice. Well, anyways, let me, while I'm already have the game loaded, let me test damage. Force DR blocked. Force DR blocked again. That damage is actually kind of shit for the skill, but yeah, these damage numbers are ass actually, so we'll have to buff that. Oh boy. Will of the Field okay, what is that, interesting, okay. Yeah, these skills need to get buffed by a lot. Let me see what a zero stat dummy looks like here really fast for damage. I don't want to go too overboard with stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with that damage. Yeah, I could easily go 10x on that skill. Same honestly for that one. Honestly, same for that one. Yeah, I think we're just gonna 10x the skills, the damage. And it might seem like a lot, guys, but let me give you an idea here of what Bloody Feast damage is. Like, when you're talking perfect modded gears, you know, and this is pure physical, this is not a magic stance. And mind you that that's going to have better survivability than Diablo will. So, yeah. In fact, I could probably even go to like 20x on some of these. I won't do it yet. I want to see what 10x looks like, and then we'll go from there. 10x would be 160 million damage with that skill, for example. So that one I might actually go 15x. So really quickly, actually, while we're right here. Oh my god, I was fucking not recording. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just show you guys really quickly. So, not really the best damage numbers here. Okay, so that's what the damage is doing right now, and let me just again quickly show you guys what Bloody Feast looks like because you didn't get to see it. And this is pure physical damage. And mind you, it scales up as this buff, as destination buff goes higher. So yeah, bottom line is that yes, this stance needs to be buffed heavily. So back to Notepad really quickly here, and this one, I'm gonna go ahead and that. Alright, was there a ah okay, this will hit 100 targets, and okay, so 10.7. This is the one I was gonna make 15x. So that times 15 is 160.5. Okay. All right, let's see what this ends up doing on the server side. Hopefully that script will be fixed also. Find out. So stop the server, move the files over quickly. I'm getting desperate to get this done because my nose is just killing me right now. It's like miserably itchy. In the IES. We're just waiting for the server to start up again. So what we're gonna see now is we did a really kind of broad strokes approach, and now I'm gonna fine tune the damage further, as well as double checking to see if that buff got fixed to where it's a toggle, and yeah. And otherwise, I'm gonna continue to hate my life because I'm having an absolutely miserable time with my freaking nose being so itchy. Oh. Oh. Hello? Caps locking or what? Yeah. So, still waiting for the server to load up, but the barrack server's online. I'm just gonna wait for the zone server number, or the daemon number 10 to come online. Should be another minute or so. So yeah, you guys can see like we're already now past 2 hours. It's a time-consuming process, but this is kind of what it's like being a one-man development team. Just a lot of trial and error, and keep fucking with shit until it works the way you want it. And I mean, I could go down the rabbit hole, really, really far, with getting the damage exactly what I want. Honestly, I haven't really found that it's that necessary. Eventually, I might go through with a more fine-tuned approach, as I test things further. But, or like as I play the game, I'm like, that's a little bit strong. Maybe let me bring that down by like a tiny, a little tweak here and there. But overall, this is what the development process looks like for me. 100 and... Actually, this is supposed to be the 0 stat one. Oh well, man. Just... So it's saving the buff, but it's not being a toggle buff. I'm not really sure about what's going on with that. But you can see these are saving at least. So that's good. But this skill should behave just like this skill, and I'm not really sure why it's not. Probably overlooking something simple. I'll look into it more in a bit. But for now, damage. 10 million damage on the high stat, which is great. Fuck. That's not what I wanted to do. What was that? It's about 75.6 million. Alright. I'm good with that damage, actually, on 0 stats. Like, I have no problem with this type of damage existing in the game. But the real question is, how does it perform against the high stat? For the sake of real comparison, let's might be a little on the strong side. But the reason it's on the strong side is because it's magic damage. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Is when you're dealing with magic damage, it scales differently. So in this case, we're up at the upper limit of what physical damage is really going to be able to deal damage on. And but magic has no problem hitting these stats just fine. And so that's why we're seeing the difference here, which honestly I'm good with it. Pretty solid. I mean, with a skill with that long of a cooldown and that long of a cast, I'm good with it, I think. Um, yeah. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that damage. I don't really... I'm sure that at some point I'll tweak it further, but I'm good with this as it is. So that is actually this character done because all these other stances have already been balanced. So yeah, I'm pretty good with that. Like I said, I'll further tweak this, I'm sure, given some more testing and, you know, brainstorming, but I'm happy with that. So the other thing I have to figure out is why this is not doing what it should be with the behavior of the toggle buff, but there's a variety of things that it could be, and I'm not really sure without really doing some serious testing. So some trial and error shit that could take hours. I don't really want to subject you guys to that. So, but a little recap on what we kind of did here. As you guys may recall, he was only able to use Saber and a fire bracelet in the base game, but we made this so that he could use the special bracelet. And, of course, that works also using a sword and fire bracelet or special bracelet. And then lastly, we made it so that he can use the, actually this isn't lastly, but sword and a saber, or a saber and a sword, or a sword and a sword. And all the stances will work just fine. And then lastly, special bracelet, special bracelet, special bracelet, fire bracelet, or fire bracelet and special bracelet. All works. Perfect. All right, so that is a really quick demonstration of you know, game balancing and kind of what it's like to do some of the development stuff that I've been working on over the years. And that's just for character balancing, but of course there's porting content from the retail game, you know, of newer versions and all sorts of fun stuff to do, and you know, creating custom content as well. So, but that should give you guys a at least some idea of what it's, you know, what my development time has looked like for this game. Been a lot of stuff like that. So, um, of course, I can. One other thing I could look into is the exact stats that this buff gives. Maybe this could get tweaked. Who knows? Or same with this buff. But anyways, that should give you guys at least, like I said, an idea of what goes into the development process. So, hope you guys enjoyed. It definitely I was a little bit rambly and really got into a little bit of the weeds, but hopefully it was a somewhat good example of you know, development, and I hope you guys enjoyed getting to see some of that. So, yeah, thank you for joining me on this lovely adventure, especially if you've made it all the way to the end here. And if you did, and you enjoyed the video, do drop a like on the video, and if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe and stick around. I would be willing to make more videos like this if some of you guys have questions on development and, you know, balancing, either specifically as it pertains to this game or just in general. Maybe I could go through patch notes for a game that I know, like RuneScape or something, and talk about what I think from a balance standpoint or from a game development standpoint, what are good practices or not, or whatever. feel free to suggest whatever you guys are interested in, and I'm definitely open to that feedback and would welcome the opportunity for some type of video that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise thought of, um, to address some questions that those of you who are interested in the field might have. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time with I have no clue what, but I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves and stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.